Matt from EINSTARSAS here. In today's video I'm going to be checking out this Einstar Vega 3D scanner, talk about initially why I never really wanted to get myself one of these, why I've changed my mind a little bit, and some of the difficulties with using this stuff that people don't really discuss when you watch other reviews of 3D scanners. So I was contacted about probably a year ago asking if I was interested in reviewing a 3D scanner, and I said I wasn't. And the main reason for that was I didn't really feel like it was something that I needed to learn to be able to do what I want to do. And also I think you see a lot of people using these when a tape measure would be perfectly adequate. I already spend more time on a computer than I would like to anyway, and I've sort of always felt like 3D scanning, all the 3D modeling, 3D printing is just going to mean, you know, a whole load more time basically behind a computer screen. But I was having this discussion with someone the other day, and just the fact that if you don't learn all this stuff, you really are going to get left behind when it comes to what you can make and the things that you can do. And as much as I like the old school hands-on techniques, I do want to progress, and I do want to, you know, move forward with what I'm able to do and create. And so yeah, I just come to the conclusion that I do need to be able to use this stuff. And the thing that always puts me off any of this kind of thing is having to learn these like computer programs and stuff. It takes me a long time. Once I get my head around it, I can do it, but I'm not computer minded, so it does take a lot of work to actually learn it all. And that's something that's really not discussed that much with this. So initially I was offered a scanner to do a review on, looked at the specs, and you need a really powerful laptop to run it. My laptop's nowhere near good enough to, or even my home PC was nowhere near good enough to actually support it. So I priced up a laptop to run that scanner. You're looking about 1,500 quid to 2 grand for a laptop that is capable of processing everything that happens with these scans. So this Einstar Vega is basically the solution to that, because this does all the processing on the unit itself, and you've got a full-size screen. You don't have to have it plugged into a laptop as you're scanning, which most others do. So I thought, yeah, that definitely now appeals more to me already, because it's got rid of the fact that you need an expensive laptop. So what this does, and something that I didn't realise, and I feel like people don't really mention, I was under the impression you scan something, whatever it is, cylinder head, a wheel, and then you've essentially got this like perfect drawing that you can work off with all the dimensions already on it, which isn't the case. You scan it, it gives you a 3D image, and then you actually have to trace those dimensions onto your 3D image. You actually need to be pretty good in CAD, in 3D CAD, to be able to get to that point, and that's where I've already come a little bit unstuck with what I was trying to do with this, with my first job for this. So I'll give you a quick look at the scanner and show you like how easy it is to use, because it's very intuitive and easy to do your scan with. So this is how it comes in a little bag. Get your little tripod. This takes a minute or two to boot up. If you've watched anyone doing any scanning, you'll have seen these little markers that you have to stick on stuff. There's a little board and a calibration tool in there. You have to calibrate this. You're supposed to do it every time you even like transport it anywhere. They give you this little guy to scan. So you've got two options. HD and fast mode. HD is going to be for like smaller, more detailed stuff. Fast mode is for bigger things, like if you want to scan a whole car or something. And then it tells you if you're too far, too close, tell me to get closer. So I'll show you what I did on the Cortina. It's a lot better, but you can see that's already picked that up. Then you want to turn this into a mesh file, which is like lots of little points of reference. So you can have how smooth it is, the resolution of it, texture mapping, make it watertight. That's all already generated a little mesh that you can see there's holes in it. I only scanned a tiny bit of it for a few seconds, but you can see how quick that was. Right, so I'm just going to scan this floor pan to try and pick up all the original mounting points. This would be very difficult to measure and draw and get all these points because there's no symmetry to it, and you've got a lot of contours and stuff in the floor. You could do it. I'd probably lay a bit of paper over it, and then you could just mark them, transfer that onto a flat table, and then use one point as like a datum and measure everything off it. Right, that was a pretty quick scan, just using, haven't changed any of the settings, that's just on fast scan mode, and it's telling me I need to recalibrate it. I have done the calibration process, but I've been driving around with it in my van. You're supposed to recalibrate it if it's been moved around, but I don't have the stuff here, so I decided to just go with it. So once you've got this bit, what I can do is snip off the bits of the scan that I don't want. So you've got option to change the settings here. I'm not going to change anything, just going to apply. And now it's generating mesh, so we'll leave that for however long it takes, a couple of minutes. So this is my like bolt pattern that I'm trying to basically find and create a drawing for, these holes, the original seat mounting points. And I thought this would be where I could just extract that information from. I can measure things, but to get the exact points of all these holes, you've actually got to trace them over the top of this and like use this as the template, if you like. So to do that, you've got to import this into 3D CAD and then draw your drawing over the top to then have something that you can actually use as like a cut file, so that I can like plasma cut my seat brackets. So that's as far as I've got, and I'm sort of stuck now because I don't have the 3D CAD skills to be able to get this into Fusion 360 and actually do that. There's just a couple of steps I can't work out. It's actually getting this orientated into the CAD program to be able to just draw on top of it. I mean, it doesn't look that hard when you watch people do it on video, but I just need to learn the CAD software a bit better. So yeah, that's as far as I'm up to. I feel like that's something that quite a lot of people don't really show or talk about. I found a video on the channel Making for Motorsport. He does loads of 3D scanning stuff. When I started searching for this, and some tutorials, his videos came up. And his was one of the only videos that actually showed the full process of doing a scan, and then how you actually get that scan into a usable file to then like take your measurements and actually, you know, have something there you can use. And there's a lot of steps to it. So yeah, I've got a lot of learning to do really before I can give any sort of proper review of this for the things that I want to try and do with it. But I can say where I've got to so far, it is easy to use and actually get that scan data. If you're just scanning stuff and then like 3D printing it, a lot of the 3D printers can just use like the mesh file like I've already generated on here. I could 3D print that floor pan in plastic or something like that. That would be very straightforward, but for like proper reverse engineering or you know, that kind of thing, there's definitely more to it. The next thing I'm going to do with it is I want to scan the P, the whole car, and then I want to get like a 110, you know, like radio controlled car size body of that, whether it like made, so like 3D printed or something, paint it the same green, and then I want to make a little radio control version. And that's something I don't know how you would do that without one of these. So yeah, that's going to be the next little project for the Einstar Vega. But there's a first little look at it, and hopefully a bit of sort of somewhat useful information. More to come with that. That's going to be it for this one. Cheers for watching. See you on the next one.